Hello, my loves. So, I had this whole entire script picked out on how are you choosing the best bids for your company. And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to piggyback on what we talked about with the Chat GPT prompt yesterday in my YouTube shorts. So, I have a proposal that I'm going to open up. I'm going to load it into AI and we're going to have it break down if it is the best option for our company to bid on. Because whether you know it or not, every time you prompt one of these AI tools, you are teaching AI everything about you, your company, how you operate, your behavior, all of it. All right. So, Chat, Claude, AI, all of these tools can help you to break down if your company should bid on this or if they shouldn't, your qualifications, the way you communicate. Chat knows more about you than you think. Okay. So the bid that I chose is off of Bonfire. Bonfire has just switched to another platform name. It is called Euna, EUNA. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but they no longer operate under Bonfire. It's now under Euna. And they give you a whole new dashboard, everything. So I'll show you how I prompted it. What I did, now I have these bonfire bids, so I just randomly picked one, and the one that I chose was purchase of two types of animal control vans. And what we're going to do is see if this is the best government contract for our company to bid on based off of what AI knows about us. And then we're also going to prompt what challenge is this county or city facing that with this contract, plus we're going to add some more prompts in there as well. So I scrolled down a little bit, and this is the Bonfire portal, but it's now called Euna, EUNA. So your documents are down here when you scroll down. So I just took one of the documents, downloaded them, and moved them to Claude AI. Now that I uploaded it in Claude, the prompt is, right, because if you're not using Chat, GPT, or AI, you have a team player that you are. It's like having a team player you're completely ignoring, right? You have someone on your team, but you're ignoring all of their capabilities. Is what you're doing by not using AI. AI is a team member. So if you're not utilizing it, think of it that way. I have a team member I'm paying no attention to. Right? Let me go get this team member, ask them what they think, bring them in, and let's execute this together. That's the role that AI plays. Whether you like it or not, it's something that's not going anywhere. So use it as a tool to structure your business and help you move forward. Okay? So the first thing I asked it was, what challenge is this county slash agency really facing with this contract based off of what you know about my company? Is this the best bid for me to choose and why? So that's what we're going to prompt it. And you can also add something that says, also share with me the pros and cons of this contract based off of what you know about me. Because I prompt Chat and Claude a lot. So I'm teaching it my behaviors, what kind of company I run, how I operate. It knows more about you and your company based off what you're prompting, way more than you think it does. All right, so it can answer questions. Instead of me giving you my breakdown of how I look at bids and what I'm going to choose for my company, no, we're going to skip that whole script and we're going to go to Chat and we're going to go to AI and have AI show you how to really do this process step by step. So now that we prompted it, I also added share with me pros and cons of this contract based off of what you know about me. I did that because I want to see an aerial view of what's good about this contract, how I can fulfill it, and what are the cons and some of the pushback, okay? So we're going to hit enter. Now it already has the contract in there. It has the specifications for both of the bands that they're looking for. Okay, so it would have been better for me to use chat. Um, I usually don't use Claude AI as much, but chat is maxed out for the day because I use the free version. Um, so up here, it clearly states, happy to help analyze the opportunity, but I don't have any information for your company in our conversation yet. It's because I don't use Claude a lot. So we'll skip over that part. But so from what we see, right, we're looking at this contract right here. Purchase of two types of animal control vans. So the challenge with Hillsborough County, this is the challenge that they're facing. Look at how it was prompted and look at the response that we got. All right, so the challenge the county is facing is based on this specification. The county is dealing with specialized animal transport need that requires dual purpose functionality. They're just not transport vehicles. They're mobile animal care facilities with climate control, monitoring systems, and specialized containment. Now, where it took it from, here is the actual spec that was attached to the proposal. So it took all of this information and broke it down so that I can have an aerial view. You need an aerial view on what the problem really is so that you can solve a solution or you can provide a solution. A lot of us are not providing solutions. You're getting extremely excited about a contract and you don't understand it. If you don't understand what a contract needs you to provide, don't bid on it. Take it to AI and prompt it and figure out what the real problem is with the county. Because government contracts exist because problems arise in the county, state, federal level. You need to be a problem solver, solution solver. Can you bring a solution or can you just bring a price and hope that you hit 50,000 profit? These are things you need to start thinking about. People want to work with people. People want to work with people, and people also want to work with people who can provide a solution. Your competition is providing solutions. You should be doing the same. So where I got this from was the actual bid on Bonfire. I took that document, which is this document that you see here in Adobe, right? These are all the specs, photos, right? And then I prompted it to AI. And this is how we got the challenge that Hillsborough County is currently facing. All right, regulatory compliance, replacement urgency. That's big. They're replacing two existing units indicating current fleet issues. Boom. That's what we want to know. Why is this contract out? Why was this put out? What is the real issue? It says number 3, replacement urgency. They're having current fleet issues. So now you can operate around that. Why are you the best company to provide a solution for Hillsborough County? Because we can solve your current fleet issues and then work around that. Dig so deep into it that they don't even have the option to not choose your company. The way you can provide a solution, right, based off of current fleet issues, I can guarantee you that if 9 people are bidding on this bid, only 1 to 2 people understand what the current issue is. Okay, so we ended up figuring that out. Current fleet issues, that's a big problem. We got animals that needs to be transported, and we have trucks that are breaking down. Like fleet issues are trucks that are breaking down. They're out of compliance. Dispatches all over the place, right? And then specialized integration, the combination of heavy-duty electrical systems, custom caging, HVAC integration, and monitoring systems requires expertise across multiple trades. So do you have that expertise? If you do, this is a good contract for you to work on. If you can solve fleet issues, You have the expertise across multiple trades, right? You can provide a solution, then yes, this is a good contract for you. All right, so you also need to ask it and just keep prompting it, right? Here's an assessment on this contract. This appears to be a complex, high value contract requiring significant specialized fabrication and integration work. If you don't specialize in that, that's okay because you can find a sub that can. That's just me being straightforward. You can find a sub that can handle this complexity. All right, so you don't have to fully, completely walk away from it, but now you need to start thinking like, can I find subs in the area who have this capability? And how many of them is there? If something is super complex, there might not be a lot of subs. So you can't provide it, the complexity. You can't find a sub. It's very minimal. There's like 2 to 3 subs in the area. It's not enough quotes for you to bang it out. Walk away. There is way too many contracts out here for you to just be bidding on something that you cannot provide a solution or be competitive on. All right, I'm gonna just give it to you straight with no sugarcoat. You can't do the capabilities, you can't meet the requirements, there's no subs in the area, pick another contract. All right, and do that quickly, right? I took this PDF, I put it in Claude, and it stops me from having to read an entire contract, waste about 5 hours of my day, when I could have been taking those other 4 hours and utilizing and reading another contract. AI is the employee that you're ignoring. If you're not using it, it's a time saver. You can buy your time back. You can find contracts at a rapid pace without all that it takes, right? It's smarter, not harder. That's what AI does for you. And if you're in a mind frame where it's like, oh, AI is this, it's not. Somebody told me AI stops you from using your own thought process. Yeah, but when you're a business owner and you're providing solutions and strategies, AI is a gold mine, right? So the person who told me that, there was a lot of low level, small thinking going on there because I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, oh, it takes away the complexity of how you think. If an AI tool can do that, you need more than a right. The blame needs to be put more on you and less on AI. Because if AI can take away the complexity for you to think, you're in big trouble, right? Or somebody told you that and it was a lie. All right, so the county has very detailed specifications suggesting they've had quality issues before or need to ensure regulatory compliance. Maybe those trucks weren't inspected properly. Maybe they didn't have the right auto liability insurance. Maybe um, there's too many errors and omissions with the vehicles. Constant breakdowns, scheduling is all over the place. Things are just a mess. Look at how quick Claude explained to you, right? And then there's more documents here. If you look, that was only one document that I pulled, which was specification 1. Okay. And another thing that Bonfire does, I don't know who's on Bonfire, but if you are, whoever opens the documents, whatever company decides they want to view one of these documents, my company name is now going to go on the list because I downloaded a document from this proposal. Anyone who opened a document on Bonfire, it will show you. The companies that it's showing you are currently your competitors because they are interested as well. All right, now there's some companies here, about 12 of them. I can guarantee you all 12 aren't going to bid. But every time one of these companies opened up a file, if you look, BBR printers, they opened it 11 times. All right, they're likely to bid. This company right here, XIAOMI, they're likely to bid. They open those documents 24 times. They're constantly reviewing like what's going on in that document. Vendor Link LLC, likely to bid. Also gives you their information, but here's the banger, the golden nugget. You now have a list of contractors that you are not going to reach out to. Now you know what subs are bidding and what subs are not bidding because you have a whole list. If you look up a subcontractor in the area and you see that Build Central Inc. is a sub that can help you collaborate on this project, do not reach out because they are already interested and they're already opening documents on a bid that you are currently pursuing. That's why I talk about tools, AI, your tool chest, all right, and the way and the perspective you are looking at things. I'm not going to reach out to First Sight Solutions. I'm absolutely not going to reach out to this XIAO company because they're heavily invested. They're looking at doc after doc after doc. 24 times they open documents. This saves you as well. All right. From conversations that you don't have no business having. All right. John, what's up? um, so yeah, basically this is what it gave us. Now we can go back in and what we can do is, John, drop your email in the chat so the community can collaborate with you. Um, we can go back to another. Let's download. All right, so we have some documents here we need to look at. Direct deposit authorization, that's for payment. Drug-free workplace, please don't show up with nonsense. An addendum went out, that's for questions. Something changed. If you see something that says addendum, something in the contract changed. Contract terms and conditions, let's take a look at that because this is what you need to be able to understand. This is the Hillsborough County's rules and regulations. So we'll take this and hopefully Claude will let us prompt it. Now this is something you need to see, right? Because this is like the county's their FAR, like how Sam has their, FAR, their playbook. This is the county's. And this is pretty, 37 pages? You're not going to sit there and read 37 pages of terms and conditions. Because if you find out that you can't provide half of these things, you need to move forward and move to the next contract. You're wasting way too much time reading a 37-page document. And in reality, by the time you get to page 16, you can't provide half of what they're asking. Change orders, close dates, contract documents, bonds, so AI is your employee. Right, so let's take that and move it over and upload. All right, what was the name of that document? I need to know that. ITB 25. Right, it needs to be prompted again. Now we're looking at contract terms. So let's say, what are these contract terms and conditions explaining in simple terms? You need to prompt it to the point where it's simple because there's a lot of jargon and vocabulary and, way of wording that the government has that scares a lot of you. Right. And I know that because in the beginning I was very scared. The fact that I started repping it out and looking at bids over and over again, they became more familiar. But some of the words you're like, wow, I need to like a whole jargon, a book on jargon and just wording in general, right? Because some of these words are big and they're not easy to understand and they're complex. So what are these contract terms and conditions explaining in simple terms? So break it down to the point where a fourth grader could understand. Like we want it as simple as we can get it. All right, now if Claude knew a little bit more about me, I would prompt it to say, look, based off what you know about my company, do you think that I can work on these terms and conditions? It mentioned to me earlier that it doesn't know much about my company, and that's because I don't use Claude a lot. Chat maxed me out, so now I'm on Claude. But I would ask it that too. If you're using Claude a lot, ask it. based on what you know about me and my company, is this something that I can withstand contract terms wise? Now, when contract terms or conditions are in place, they're not negotiable. You cannot negotiate these kinds of things, and your company should have terms and conditions as well. For instance, we don't give a quote until we get this, and this. We do not operate this way in these terms under these conditions. You're not the government and the counties are not the only ones that should be providing terms and conditions. Your company should have them as well, like non-negotiables, right? Don't skip that. So let's look at what we have based off of just this simple prompt right here. All right, so immediately, within seconds, think of this contract like the rules for a really big, complicated project, like building two special trucks for animal rescue. Here's what it all means in simple terms. It gives you the basic, it's going to give you the main rules. And I need to say this, the more complicated the contract terms and conditions are, the more your profit should be. Okay, the more complex the terms and conditions are that an agency has, the bigger the risk for your company, the more profit you should be charging. If the terms and conditions are simple, okay. But if you have all these complexities with your terms and conditions, there's a higher risk for my company and I need to charge more. All right, so the main rules, how to apply. Now, this is another thing you need to know. What do they want? Like, what are they looking for your company to provide? Brand new trucks. They have to be less than 12 months old with under 5,000 miles. That's potentially something that you could have missed, right? You could have missed that easily. Small font, jargon, words that don't make sense to you. You could have missed that. The company must be an official dealer for the truck brand. Immediately, once I saw that, I would back out. I would not bid on this contract because the company must be an official dealer for the truck brand. That does not meet my company's standards. I am not an official dealer for whatever specification they are asking for, whatever dealership they want to deal with. Let's say it's Honda. I'm ready to subcontract the work. I'm not a, official dealer. I'm out. Right? Everything must be perfect, no scratches, no dents or damages. Okay, but do you see how easily, 10, 15 minutes in, I'm already realizing that this is not the contract for me. All right, you're going to look at the timeline. Money rules. A lot of you need to know the money rules of a contract. They'll pick whoever offers the best price and can actually do the work. No taxes for the county. They don't pay sales tax. All right, they'll pay you within 45 days after you send a proper invoice. Payment comes through direct deposit to your bank. Okay, that's a great section to know. Work requirements. If something goes wrong, now, if something goes wrong, this is some thinking that you would have had to do on your own, right? That you could have potentially missed. Because if a bid review comes up or a pre-bid meeting, this strategically places you to look strong. Talking about if things go wrong, because the county wants to know that you have a backup plan and a solution. All right. If you can't finish the work, they can cancel the contract and find someone else. So you're going into this knowing that work has to be finished. If you mess up badly, they might not let you bid on their projects for 2 years. You have to pay for any problems you cause. So it took that entire project and understood that if something goes wrong, this is how you're going to take the hit. There was some special rules. Everything you submit becomes public information. Once you submit your bid, you can't change it. The contract stays good for 90 days, even if they don't pick you right away. Because they can provide an award and then realize that they don't want to award that company and then come to you. Okay, and I'll be open and honest with you. One of my contracts, someone else couldn't fulfill. They rerouted the plan and then they came to me and I was awarded instead. Okay, so that's why it stays active for 90 days. The bottom line, this is like a very detailed instruction manual for companies who want to build a special animal transport trucks for the county. It protects both sides and makes sure everyone knows exactly what's expected, like I said. Okay? So we need to know all of this information. It is not something that you can just continue to skip over. You have got to prompt check. It works for you, not against you. And if I were you, I would invest the $20. You don't have to, but it's an unlimited source. It's an unlimited source that you have underneath your belt. Look at the way that it just prompted all of these documents. Okay? And if you're looking for a checklist, okay, I'm going to give you one thing. This is one tip for my bid decision checklist. The link is in the comments. One thing that you should be doing on contracts is giving yourself time. All right, I put out a video last night talking about 50 bids per month. That's all hype. It's all exciting, right? But you need time. And when I look at contracts, I give myself 7 to 14 days because a lot of complexities come up. I don't ever want to rush a bid because contracting officers know when you rushed a bid. I don't care what you think. A contracting officer knows when this bid was rushed. This company did not think this through. They just thought about price. They didn't provide solutions. They know. All right, 7 to 14 days. If the time that the bid went out, this is number 2. Well, this falls in the same criteria. The day the bid went out and was active was October 1st. The deadline for the bid is October 8th. That is only 7 days in between. I will not touch it. That is not enough time for me to execute strategically. That bid is not for me. Okay, you need a checklist. You have to understand that you cannot go after every single bid out here in these streets. Some are for you, some are not. Some are for primes, some are for partnerships. Not every single one is for you. Okay? If a bid is active and goes up on the board October 1st and it's not due until October 21st, which is my birthday, and it's not due till October 21st, okay, I will bid on that. That's a good timeline. I have 21 days, but if you give me under 14 days, I'm not bidding on it. While you're stressing me out, okay, I don't have enough time to put a proposal together. Now, if it's an RFQ, 7 to 10, because you can come up with a price real quick. But don't start doing this thing where you start operating with the wall. You feel like you're being shoved and you're like, papers are all over your desk. You're all over the place. You can't get things in order because you're so worried about the deadline. Okay? You need a bid decision checklist. The link is in the comments. This is something that will help you choose bids better. Stop choosing just anything. You have strong capabilities within your business that you know you can fulfill. Do not hop on a contract where you know you can't fulfill that work and then jump through a million hoops, right? I tell people, let's say a contract asks you for general liability. It needs to be $5 million, $7 million aggregate. Okay? Your company doesn't have it, right? Your sub could provide it, but you need to know that from the contracting officer before you can even move forward. So it becomes like a waste of time. Now, if you want to run out and jump through hoops, but think about this. If you want to jump through a hoop of fire just to obtain that general liability insurance, more power to you. I'm going to clap for you. But if you have past performance, technical data, and not the general liability, just move on. Right? Find a contract where technical data is required and so is past performance. Not saying that you can't get that general liability down the line. You can. But if you have to jump through hoops for it and get it in 8 to 10 days for a contract that you want to bid on, you're causing yourself more headache. And in logistics, I'm always trying to move the needle away from a bigger headache. If I can provide a solution and it's clear and it's understanding and it's comprehensive, fantastic. But other than that, all these jumping through hoops, you know what you can provide, right? And if you don't, you need to figure it out. What kind of capabilities and core values do you bring to this game? Like, what are you good at? So I guess a good statement is, what feels like fun to you, but work to others? What feels like fun to you, but work for others? Okay, that is your strong suit. If it's fun for you, you're having a great time, and don't feel like work, that's what you're good at. But if you're annoyed and you're extremely like combative and you can't get where you need to be, and you're like there's always confusion, it's not your wheelhouse. Okay, so I wanted to go over that real quick. It's midday, 2:30, but I wanted to come on here and really talk about that because it's important to know that AI is your employee, and if you're not prompting it or utilizing it the right way, it can be something that this will take you forever. All right, if you're reading a document for 3 days and you come across something that says, hey, you need this and you don't have it, now you're aggravated. Okay, and a lot of you are aggravated because of the timeline that it takes to bid on a contract. There's some kind of fear there with people, right? It's not for me to figure out. I do my shadow work. Okay, I do my inner work. So you need to figure out, right? Like, what is it that's holding you back? If it's reading proposals and seeing that it's taken too much time to read them, use chat. If you can't figure out a solution for an agency or a department, use chat. Prompt it correctly. There's so many good YouTube videos out here that teach you how to prompt AI. All right, you need to learn how to do this because it can save you a lot of time. Now, I bid 4 to 5 times a month. Okay, and that number can drastically change with AI. I can go from 1 to 2 hits a month to 10 to 12 if I'm prompting it day and night. Now, a lot of you have 9 to 5s. If you're looking to buy your time back, chat is the answer. AI is the answer. However you're thinking about it and looking at it perspective-wise, I'm hoping that it's in a good light. I'm hoping it's in a good light because it can rapidly excel you to be rich in no time. Okay, so midday, I love y'all. Y'all need to be putting y'all emails in the chat so y'all can collaborate as a community because all of you are phenomenal in multiple different ways and you could be working on projects together. But if you're not sharing your information in the chat, how is anyone going to get in contact with you? Right? No cell phone numbers, straight emails. And masterclass is coming up. You have more than enough time, October 13th. There's a nice gap there. Bid decision checklist is really what I want to focus on today because a lot of you don't know what to bid on. There seems to be a struggle there because there's so many contracts. Like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I'm constantly getting the question, like, Deb, how do I know? It's not a gut feeling. Okay, it's what you can provide, what's your capabilities, what are your values, does this contract align, and what solutions are they looking for? Come in here with confidence. Stop coming in here with your head down. Okay, lift your head up and understand that you have some capabilities and you can do some things that other people can't. Like, you have this fully under control. All right, whatever people told you about the control you don't have, it's a lie. You have full control at all times of this life and how you operate and the things and the wins that you bring in. If you're new here, subscribe. If you know somebody in this community or if you know somebody outside of this community who is struggling with government contracts, share this live with them. Bring them into the community so they can get inspired, educated, and move forward on this beautiful journey of government contracting. Stop making it so complicated. It is not as hard as you are making it seem. Get your toolbox, roll it over, and optimize it. Okay? I love you. I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you again soon. Whatever you are thinking that is good, think bigger. The Bible verse for today, not sure the chapter, but when I was reading it this morning, it resonated with me. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." That's all you need to hear. All right? I love you. Think bigger.